Have you sent an email to someone that's saying, hey, when are you available? When's the good time to speak? And you're just not hearing them whatsoever. Even though they're looking for help or they're just someone who is just curious and you just want to get them on the phone and just know how to have a really solid conversation. The only thing sometimes how you explain things verbally just doesn't come out well when it comes to email or text. This video is for you guys. I'm one of those people who struggle sending emails out and text messages because I'm just very direct or just not really empathetic or approachable when it comes to my words on the fingers. So this video is for you guys who are struggling or just need some more inviting, warm context to be shared. So let's just dive right in and get you guys on some context that can help you guys get people on the phone, generate more revenue, and just actually have more conversions on some of the people that you have on your pipeline or just opted in. So this is a platform that most people are familiar, which is ChatGPT. A lot of people are familiar just utilizing it for like search engines, but this is also a great tool that you can utilize for prompts such as sending as cold email. So for this particular context, I'm going to use that is related to my industry, which is financial services on credit cards. Write a cold email on someone who needs help with the credit cards, who is going through paycheck to paycheck and just struggling with the payments and just needs some financial relief. So I'm going to write a prompt that is related to that or similar in that context. It doesn't have to be word for word or super exact. AI is going to take over using the available context you have and go from there. So I'm not the fastest typer, as you can see. The prompt is generating. It's going to go for more of a professional, empathetic cold email because a lot of my search usage on ChatGPT is related to that. So it's going to basically put a context and prompt related to that. Now that's one email. Let's write a shorter email more into the punchlines that is more geared to older or maybe retirees, you can say. I want to write something that's inviting and warm at the same time, so it gets them prompted to call rather than pressuring them or just being a little bit too direct or a bit cold. So this is the context, a quick conversation to ease monthly expenses. That's going to be the title. You can see the short context it writes. Obviously, you guys want to tailor this based on how you want to approach it, based on your company or the values or cultures that you're sharing. This is one of the emails that what I like about it is you could be doing everything right, but it just seems like you're not making any much progress, which is creating the problem or addressing the problem that some of the clients might have. This is something what I like is peace of mind each month for retirees, or there's no obligation. So someone who has a lot of time, but just not feeling the ease, you'll just put a more ease of mind. So I like about how simple it is and to do the punchline on more of a context that is geared to that demographic, which is retirees. Now let's write a follow-up email on someone who says, let's just say they want to speak to their wife or wants to think it over. Now I'm just writing a very vague context. Obviously you want to address like the objection, either it's about credit score or not able to rely on the credit cards anymore since the credit cards will be closed if they use my financial service or depending on how the product works. So I'm just gonna write about assuming that this service is gonna close out the credit cards in order to relieve the problem that they've been going through. So I'm gonna write this out. Now I'm gonna give you guys some key points right over here rather than typing this all out, how you guys can make this a little bit more quicker, I per se, grammar wise. So this is going to write a follow-up email. Obviously, you can see it's pretty detailed and writing about how the goal is to recover and restructure it so you can have some relief, stability, and clear path forward. Obviously, you can see it's more geared to an emotional approach on how it should be approached. So I like how it's more of that kind of a context rather than very logical based or just saying, hey, what's wrong with you or why you feel that way. This is what you need to do. I like how it's warming and inviting. So that's one context that you guys can see right over here. Now, there's an interesting thing that I also looked into that helps me a lot during through my follow-ups or campaigns outside of the phone or needs to be reached to certain type of clientele. So I'm gonna write another prompt, write an email to someone who needs help with their financial service. But let's just say this person is interested but has a family emergency that's coming up and just not able to be on the phone right now. So basically, an external factor that's affecting them in order to get this figured out or a problem that they're dealing with. So the cool thing that I just found out as I was using this month to month is that you can actually tell artificial intelligence to write an actual multiple email campaign. So instead of just saying write me an email, you can tell them, hey, write an email campaign on multiple days so I can engage the client warm and inviting, so they know that I'm still on top of them and thinking about them. Because you don't want to leave the clients cold very so long, because once you lose some contact to them, they get very cold. Sometimes they might forget or just don't have that same relationship that they have when they first opted in, when they're really engaged into the process of your whole thing. Now you guys can pause throughout the video on looking at some of these emails in detail, but you can see that even though it's pretty short, or maybe you might just think it's, you know what, there's some context that you guys might like. I want you guys to even put in some valuable things like, hey, this is how long our company's been around. This is what we utilize. This is how we help people just like in your position. So it can build some more credibility. So these are some of the email campaigns and the suggestions that they're giving you. So it makes you really accelerate your thought process and how to go about it rather than thinking 5, 6 million different things on how you should approach it. So AI is a really great tool you guys can utilize. You can also ask them to write text messaging campaigns. Let's just say, like my work has during the text platform, pardon me, we can only do 160 characters. So I'm gonna make ChatGPT write text messages that are 160 characters within, so it can allow you to create email campaigns. One of the cool things that I also recognized is that not only you can just tell them to write emails, but you can also let them create like voicemails, some bullet points, or tell them to write some articles on that just came out, how this can be related to them, and people just like yourself is facing it, and we help people just like them. So it feels like they're not just alone, and that your services is something that you guys utilize to people that are similar situations like that. It also will write suggestions if you like something that's more geared to this personality, or something that's more gentle and soft or empathetic or more professional. You can gear it towards more to someone in the audience or some type of personality or uh, type of avatar they have. More like an avatars that are lawyers, doctors. You can prompt it to it. You can also actually leave voice messages to ChatGPT, sequence of voicemail campaigns to keep the client engaged. So just like this, I'm just gonna put a voicemail instead of just typing it as a prompt. So if you have like a very long context that you want to share with ChatGPT, you can just tell it and actually generate a prompt that you want to be doing for you. So you can be really super efficient with your, not just only with your time, but just spit out what's coming out your thoughts verbally, so you can actually become super efficient and go multiple different ways. It's very important to have different touch points throughout the whole process, because everyone is a little bit different. Like what I realize about retirees per se, I'm not trying to categorize every retirees like this, but mostly most of them are comfortable being on the phone. Then you got people that are like my age, like millennials, who are always busy and just on the go all the time. Not just myself, but millennials in general. Some people are more geared towards text messages, right? Or some people are just more geared to email because they left their primary email address as their work email, or there's just someone who is traveling for work all the time, so they're not always available to be on the phone because they have a personal life. So they check they tend to check their email a lot, just like a lot of B2B prospects do. So it's very important to know like what kind of context or touch points they're more responsive in and try to go that way. And let's just say they're not responding. It's important to have multiple different touch points, like every 2 or 3 days. The first time when you obviously opt in them, you want to try to get them on the phone as much as possible. So trying to touch base with them, call 2 or 3 times a day for the first 7 days. Then once they're not responding, they know they're you reaching out to them. You don't want to keep on bombarding them, so you want to make it one call every every day for the next 7 days. Then space it out, one call every 3 days. Then make it once per week. Then you want to do, obviously that's value driven, which is like voicemails. They want able to answer their phone all the time. So it's very important for you to leave voicemails because sometimes they're just not going to pick up the phone, or people are always on their phone, they're intentionally ignoring you. But if you leave a voicemail that obviously is personalized, inviting, or just a little bit different, because a lot of people don't like to leave voicemails in general, and you just writing emails saying, hey, I just left you an email, just thought of you during lunch. It kind of reminded me of a situation just like yourself who was in a family emergency and just was not available. This is some value driven things that we done retirees just like yourself and just thought of you. Let me know what your thoughts are, what some things that you're facing, just to see if I can help. So, if you said that you left an email during a voicemail, so it will get them to prompt them to actually look into your email rather than saying, "Oh, this guy's just been emailing again," right? And you can always like personalize with ChatGPT, which I think is a super cool thing. And you can also deliver your messages through voice, so you don't have to write a whole paragraph or two, or take about 3 minutes to write a prompt that is going through your mind. So it's a really useful tool, not just only for like businesses, but your personal life as well, depending on what kind of business you're trying to build or what kind of revenue you're trying to build or goals that you have. Because sometimes people are just not available like that on the first try. It's always to get them on the phone with them on the first like 30 minutes if you can, but some people there might be at work or has some family issues, and this will be a great way to get them engaged and just bring it up that feeling that they had when they first reach out. And just you just being on top of them, it just shows that you're persistent, care, and you're not willing to give up on the client, on the situation they're going through. You'll be very, very surprised like how much you follow up, not like every hour or so, or like calling every 3 days or so, but just being very elegantly persistent and just knowing that you thought of them, and that every time they look at their phone or email that you're willing to help. That type of position and value makes you inseparable in the marketplace. So I hope you guys take huge value in it. You will be very surprised what 2 months can do for you, a year for do for you, 3 years for do for you, by just consistently doing that when it comes to your whole process and day to day. I hope that helps you guys, and let's get out there and do great things for 2026.